Chair will now recognize any council member who wishes to have the floor for the purpose of a report. Mr. Sabah.
This is probably not a whole lot of news to a lot of folks with the with what's going on in Snellville with the design team next door in the Heritage Plaza. I like to make sure that I give credit to Eric, our economic developer manager, for setting up an incredible, busy but yet condensed agenda. And boy, I tell you, even with my wonderful electronics I have at work, at home, my BlackBerry, and I could hardly keep up with all these little reminders that keep popping up. Boy, I tell you, my hat's off to you, Eric. You're doing such a wonderful job. One thing you need to know, if you're taking note about what's happening, that the charrette or the design really is that. That's all it is. This is just a design. No buildings are going to be popping up next week. No streets are going to be redecorated and redug up and roundabouts. None of that stuff is happening on any short term. So you can go home, relax. There's no construction in the city of Snellville within a week or two. But my hope is to be able to see a 5-year vision at most. I'd like to be able to see the city here thrive within the year or two on a short term. But for the longer run, I invite all of you to be here tomorrow night to be able to see the possible presentations that are going to be shown on the screen. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other council wish to opine? Mayor Pro Tem?
A couple of comments. Some of you know I'm participating in the Leadership Gwinnett program that's run by the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. And Justice Day is coming up next month, and as a part of our homework, we had to do a ride-along with it on a shift with a Gwinnett County police officer. And I did my ride-along last week, a week ago Saturday, and rode out of the Southside Precinct, and we actually had the zone that included my old neighborhood. So it was really a lot of fun. I told my mom the other day, I saw a car out in Loganville, a police officer had somebody pulled over, and I told my mom after that ride-along I was ready to quit my job as a CPA and go to the police academy. It was really a lot of fun, and it really does give you a good appreciation for what our officers do and what they're faced with every day. Because just getting in that police car and pulling over the first car that we pulled over, it's amazing how intent you have to be and how careful they have to be approaching a vehicle, approaching people, because you just never know what's going to happen. And so it was really fascinating. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to try to line one up with the Snellville police. I was a little afraid, especially being in my old neighborhood too, that we might wind up pulling over, arresting somebody that I knew, which would have been a little uncomfortable probably. But a great experience if anybody ever has the opportunity. It really was very interesting. And just to echo a little bit more on what Councilmember Sabag said, with the Talent Center design team working feverishly over the weekend. It started Thursday night with a nice presentation, really opened up my eyes to a lot of things that I hadn't considered before. I know there was a couple of emails already going around about some of the ideas and things that were being floated, and this is a very intensive process. What we hope to come out with Tuesday night is at least an idea of what the city could be in the longer range, with some short-term steps that we can take to help get things moving and progressing even in this environment. And just like Mike said, construction is not going to start next week. We're not, the city won't transform in a day or a week or a month or even a year. It will take time. But what's really interesting is that a lot of the things that are talked about, and as I referred to some of the emails that were going around, was that this proposal was going to happen or this proposal is being made. There are no proposals being made at this point. This is all idea generation, and for anyone who's worked in business, you understand the process of brainstorming. It's green light thinking is what we call it. There is no bad idea. There is nothing that is too outlandish to put on the list to consider. And the funny thing is, some of those ideas that come out, that your first gut reaction is, no way, there's no way that would ever work. And maybe that specific idea doesn't, but just having to go through the exercise of discussing it, some other gems come out of it that could help you as you go along the process. So this is definitely a working vision that we're working on. Things will have to be updated as we go along, but it really is a very exciting process. It's helping us to pull together a more cohesive plan for this whole town center area, something that we can look towards long range, which will help us in our short-term decision making. When we're doing current rezonings, current thoughts of what types of businesses we want, we'll be able to understand what the long-term dynamics are going to be, and that will help us make those decisions. So kudos to Eric and Harmon and Russell and the whole staff for all the work that they put in on this, and also to the design team who I know isn't here, but I thank them for all their hard work as well.
Thank you. Any other member of council wish to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll close that part of the meeting. The mayor's report.